All right, cool. Well, so welcome everybody. I feel like this is probably the least exciting class to attend. Yay, taxes at 10 a.m. on a Saturday.
But it's important.
It's super important. Honestly, like in terms of stress relief, this is probably one of the biggest ones you're going to attend. So that makes it well worth it. So I'm going to go over with you, kind of the system that I use for my taxes and the stuff that we have in place for you as ringleaders to do your taxes, which some of you may not realize. There's a lot of stuff in your Dropbox just waiting for you. And I'm going to ask if you have a lot of background noise just to go ahead and mute yourselves, loves. Okay, thank you so much. But feel free to ask me questions, unmute, do whatever. This is very informal. Full disclosure, I am not a tax professional. I will not ever be one. I probably have some things that, maybe I could do even better, but it's working well for me. I myself do my taxes on my own. I use TurboTax. I probably could get a little more back if I used a tax preparer, but I never have gotten around to doing that. But it works, right? It works. So, sorry. Oh, hang on. I'm just going to there we go. Okay.
You with the program, bro.
Oh,
I already told you that this morning.
Oh, hey. Oh, hang on. No, I thought that was okay. There we go. Another one unmuted. I get so distracted by the noise. I'm sorry. So yeah, you can really do this however you want. Whether you do what I'm going to suggest and then take it to a tax preparer and have them review it, that's great, right? If you want to do it yourself via TurboTax or something else like that, that's great too. Hi, buddy. Nice to see you. He always comes on and says hi at some point when I'm on the phone with Leamy, which I just love. It's so sweet. He's adorable. He's stinking cute. Okay, so the first thing you want to think about, this is where a lot of people freak out, right? Especially when we're new to the business, is like, oh my God, now I'm making this money and I'm gonna have to pay tax on all this money, and it's like stressful and I'm gonna lose money. No. So a reason a lot of people get into a business like this is for the tax advantage. Okay, it actually helps you. Smart people have things like this because our financial system is built to reward people that are doing business. Okay, so what that means is that you get to claim a lot of things, a lot of tax deductions that are going to reduce your overall picture of how much you brought in. Okay, so you're not going to be getting taxed on the full amount you're bringing in from your customers. You're going to get taxed on whatever you brought in minus all of your expenses. So that's why it's really important to do your expenses to the fullest, okay? So I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to show you some resources that you have right in your Dropbox. Now, we've updated some of these recently, so if you do not have all of these, shoot me a private message. Don't do it in the chat because I'll forget. Shoot me a private message on Facebook, and we'll make sure that you get updates, okay? All right. Let me get this ready. That's what I want to start with. Okay, so I'm going to show you a really handy tax tracker that you can use every single month, or if you're lazy like me, you can do it at the end of the year. So here's the other thing to know, okay? Like, I am really, really bad about doing things on time. In fact, there are many years where my taxes are a little late, okay? That's all right. I mean, it's not great. They charge you a little bit, but they're not going to come after you. We are small potatoes to these people, okay? Really, we're small potatoes. They're looking at the big guys. So don't freak out if you're running behind. Just get it done. The most important thing is just get it done because it's going to feel better for you. But if you're running a little late, it's not the end of the world. You are not going to be harshly penalized. You will have some late fees, but they are dependent on how much you're actually getting taxed on, okay? All right, so this first thing I'm showing you is our income and expense summary. And this is probably your number one tool, okay? And I'm gonna go over each of these different categories and help you to see where you can be saving some money. And you'll notice here that you have one for every month, January, February, March, et cetera, et cetera. Any additional expenses, which I'll go into, and then your annual year-to-dates, all right? So this is a really useful thing. If you're a paper person, print it out. If you want to do it online, do it online. It really does not matter. So first, let's talk about income. The good news is you don't have to separate everything out, okay? All they care about is like, what is the total amount that you collected? So in there, you can have everything for your orders, shipping, tax, all one number. Now, where do you find this? In the PRIT. Okay, so if you're not using the PRIT, which is in your Dropbox, start using the PRIT because that's going to give you these numbers easily. So let me show you here really quickly. All right, so here's my PRIT for this year. Okay, so I've started plugging in my parties as we go along, right? Okay, so, and also if you're not using the PRIT, this is going to help you track a lot of things. You know, maybe been a minute since you did the Holy Grail, or maybe you've started before we had the Holy Grail, right? So this is so good for tracking everything you need to know, all right? So how your parties are doing, this is your per person average. Like this is gold to have, okay? And then down here at the bottom, scroll down to the end, this is also going to calculate everything for you, okay? So the number we're interested in for our income is this one right here, okay? This green one, that's money in, all right? So you notice that retail's in there, discounts that you've given are in there, shipping and tax, all of it's in there, okay? So super easy. That's number one. That's the first column on your tracker. All right. Meeting and retreat fees. This is really only if you are a leader and you are charging for anything that you might be doing in terms of meetings. Maybe you're doing, you're asking everybody to, you know, bring in $10 to pay for the cost of a meeting room or something like that. That's really the only time you'd use that. Overrides and monthly checks or bonus checks, that is your override. Okay, basically anything you're getting from corporate that is not paid directly to you, that is paid by corporate, except for web orders. Okay, that's not in there. Web orders actually is a separate, actually I should go back to that. See, so I'm all over the place, don't worry about it. You can be too. Web orders are also part of your income, but you're gonna get that from the COO, okay? Because they track that for you. So that's a number you get from the COO. The overrides are going to be team commissions, monthly sales bonuses, lifestyle bonus, or if there's any other current incentives that they're doing. You're going to find that total in the COO. So you get those little, if you get a direct deposit or a check, you get those little monthly statements. I don't even hang on to those because I know that I have my number in the COO. Now, maybe I should be hanging on to them in case something happened awful in the COO. But so far so good. So that's just a simple, how much I made this month. And again, if you're like me and you're like, oops, I totally didn't do that this year, then it's just one number from the COO. So do it however you like. Right? One thing to know about this is you will be getting, if you are, and I believe it's 600 or more, if you're getting 600 or more in money from the corporate office in terms of overrides and bonuses, you will get a 1099. You should claim it even if you don't get a 1099. Okay, claim whatever you got because it is taxable. But if you get a 1099, then that will actually be furnished to the IRS by Pure Romance. So that number is there. So you want to claim it. Okay, really important. Any questions so far? Good? Okay. All right, cool. Now, miscellaneous income.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Sorry. So do you include the web orders on the line number 1?
Yeah, I do. I basically, everything that I brought in is one income line, but some people like to separate it out.
I got confused for a second there. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that was my bad actually. Yeah. So
okay.
Personally I do it that way, but some people like to line item, do it however works best for you. It's easy enough to make it a line item, and then if you end up combining it when you report, that's fine. So
I'm doing 2 separate ones. I'm doing this and I'm doing a separate spreadsheet. So when you said track it in the COO, it threw me. I just wanted to get clarification. So I could track all of my income on line one. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's a good clarification. You can track it all on line one, but you're going to be getting it from different places. You're going to be getting your party income from the PRIT, outside orders, etc. Website orders you'll get from the COO. Okay. All right. Great. Miscellaneous income, almost never going to use this line. Okay. This is if somebody gave, like, every now and then I've gotten a tip, which I'm like, like, that makes me so excited, right? Like, what? You're tipping me for this? Okay. Or somebody made some kind of donation to your business, something like that, then that would go with miscellaneous. Okay. So that's it for income. Pretty simple. Now, expenses. All right. So this is going to be the first one, invoice total. This is basically everything that you paid to Pure Romance for orders. Okay, so it's going to be your product, your shipping, your tax. Okay, it's all in there together. Also, any tax that you paid on free product that you earned. Okay, so make sure you look at that line. If you've ever earned any free product, you paid, and you're in a place that has tax, you paid sales tax on that, that should also go in there. Okay. And that's all in the COO. You can pull that number up easily in the COO. Super simple. What's that? Okay. Office supplies. This is anything you're using for business use. Ink for your printer, paper clips, staples, envelopes, a filing cabinet, a computer. If you bought a computer for your business. If you didn't already buy it, probably not. Really things that stay at your home for you to use. Okay. Any tech, not your internet, but any tech stuff, audio, video, your ring light, anything like that that is a physical office supply should go in this line. Okay. And I just realized I don't have the chat where I can see it. So let me make sure. Somebody tell me if there's a question in chat, okay? I always get a little weird when I'm sharing.
I got you, Jackie. I got you.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Postage and shipping. This is where you're going to basically log all the postage that you bought for the month. Okay, it could be stamps. It could be shipping costs, pirate ship, whatever you're using. Doesn't matter, okay? Any shipping cost you've incurred that you aren't paying to corporate. This is not corporate shipping. And you could, if you are keeping receipts, which you should be doing, if you actually have a physical receipt, write on the receipt what you used the stamps for. Okay, just extra security in case you do get audited. Again, we are super low risk, but it's just good to keep track of those things. Okay? Because people buy postage stamps for personal use, so they see a huge amount of postage stamps. They're like, right? Okay, business supplies. This is going to be your party supplies. Okay, so this sounds, it's a little confusing because we think, oh, business supplies sounds an awful like office supplies. Totally separate. Folders, gift wrap, anything that you take with you to a party, pens, little dollar store goodie bag stuff, like all of that stuff. Okay. And also anything that you purchased under business supplies from corporate. So that would be samples, things that don't count as retail products like grab bags, because you're just gifting those things, right? Those are party supplies, business supplies. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And if you want to find that number specifically for the business supplies under the COO, go in and go to reports, purchase details report, and then on the bottom, you're going to find an item called business supplies. Okay. All right. Any questions about that one? Because I feel like that's one that sometimes people are like unclear or have other things that they're like, does this count?
Can we write off Zoom? If you're paying Zoom, would that go into office supplies?
You can do that. That's going to go under, I would call, where are we going to do Zoom?
Wouldn't it go under office supplies,
I think it would probably be office supplies. Or it could, no, it's not really a utility.
I think in my job, that would be office supplies.
Yeah.
In my job as well. That's why I say it. I'm a bookkeeper at Caliente. And
Yeah.
all of our
Right.
AOLs and all goes under office supplies.
Office supplies. Thank
Thank you.
We would also break down into communications and other stuff, but this is very basic. So I would do
Yeah.
business supplies.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yep. Noelle?
So then like what about like your monthly payment for Microsoft Word, for Dropbox, and for like if you have like those one safe, like on my laptop I have like the PC cleaners to keep like making sure that's all under office supplies?
Yes, that would also fall
Okay.
under office supplies. Yeah. So that's a great clarification actually that I hadn't really thought about yet. So because we
Thank
really
you.
haven't been using a lot of those things much. So yeah, we're using a lot more now. Okay. Photocopying, printing, this is very specific. Anytime you went to Office Max to get stuff printed, that kind of thing. That's really it. Okay. Advertising, this is lots of stuff. Business cards, flyers, magnets, pens that you got made with your info on it. Clothing that markets your business counts under here. Okay. You're wearing your logo wear. There you go. Anything at all you're using to promote your business. What else might fall under here? I put my website cost under here because it's marketing, right? So the monthly amount you're paying for your website. If you have a GoDaddy that you pay for annually, a domain forwarding, that goes in there. If you do a vendor event, okay, and you have to pay a fee for that, that's an advertising. Again, if any, and by the way, some of you know these things and are savvy with these things. If there's anywhere where you're like, I would put it somewhere else, let me know, okay? But this is where I put it. What else? Lots of stuff can go under advertising. So basically, think about anything that's being used to say, hey, I'm in business. That for me counts as advertising. All right, travel. This is when you go out of town for a party or a corporate event. 4 hours or more away is the official rule on this. Again, like I don't like how hard they're going to check this. So I didn't say that. But this would be the cost of hotels, car rentals, airfare, all of that.
Is it for?
Sorry, Joanna?
I was going to say, is it 4 hours there and 4 hours back, or 4 hours back and forth?
I would say 4 hours away, but I've always claimed, like sometimes we have like, events where it's a weekend training and I have to stay in the hotel and it's 2 hours away. I do it. Right. I mean, I don't, again, how closely are they going to really look at this? If they ended up auditing you and they're like, oh, you can't count that $100. Okay. $150, like not a deal breaker. And if the trip is 100% business, like 100% business, like you're going specifically to national training, right? You can log your food in here as well. Okay. If it's a split trip of pleasure and business, then you should log your food under meals and entertainment, and that's a different deduction. Okay. Any questions about that? And alcohol is never allowed. Sorry, you can't deduct your drinks. As fun as that would be. However, unless it's, I claim this a gift. Like there are times where I might take out some of the team members for special drinks as a reward, like for their job, well done, right? I am gifting that. I count that as a downline gift. Okay. But my own drink, I really should take it out. Meals and entertainment. So this is purchase of food while you're conducting business. Team meetings, lunch trainings, meals while traveling out of town for parties. This could be 4 hours away and closer. Okay, so this could be like, going and talking to a prospect, dropping off product and stopping for a little food because you're like working all day. Or if you're conducting business at like a team meeting, right? You're doing a team meeting, obviously you do that. Write on your receipts the purpose of the meal. Okay, really important. Okay. And I believe that they allow that's a 50% deduction, if I remember correctly. But it will calculate it for you if you're using TurboTax. If not, your tax advisor will do that for you. So just bring the whole amount. Team development, business development, anything that's necessary for you to purchase to conduct business, like training of your team, supplies for stuff like that. If you're running a team meeting and you are bringing stuff to help run that meeting, filming a training video, right? If you were feeding your team at a training event, anything like that. Okay. Oh, now here, actually interesting. I'm just looking at our notes. So under here, okay, Dropbox, if you're a leader, could go under here because you're paying for team development here, right? I still feel like Zoom, so this is a good question, like Zoom could almost live in two different places. Yeah, that's interesting. Any thoughts on that, bookkeeper?
Yeah, I didn't see business development right on there.
Yeah,
yes, I think it would best fall on there as we're doing it more now because of the pandemic.
Yeah. But for events and stuff, see, I'm using Zoom only for training and learning, and I'm using Facebook Live for my parties. So I think I would put Zoom under business development for me. I guess it depends on what you're using it primarily for.
Right. Again, and I feel like this is such a small potatoes thing that really,
yeah,
even if you put it in the wrong place, they're going to say, oh, that really belongs there. Do that next time. Like,
Yeah.
You've got an audit. So yeah, we're kind of mincing hairs here. But the thing is, the reason I want to go through this is because I want you to know all the different things you can actually claim. A lot already, you're probably thinking, wow, this is a lot more than I realized that I can claim. Okay. Okay, professional development. This is if you actually, attend an event, a seminar, world training, world conference, national training, some of when we're back in person, registration, or for the virtual stuff, the success summit that we just had, that $10 or whatever it was, that's part of professional development. So you should absolutely claim all of that. Any books that you purchase for personal development in your business, those can be claimed here. Anything that helps you promote yourself and the growth of your business. Okay. All right. Recognition and awards. This is any kind of incentives that you're giving to your team. Okay. So this is really for leaders, gifts, presents, anything like that. Okay. If it's over $600 for one person, they do say you should fill out a 1099 form. For each individual. I haven't personally done that. I just lump it, downline incentives, boom. So again, like if you want to get really nitpicky, then that's probably a good thing to do. If you're doing a really large amount for somebody, then that's when they're going to start to notice that. Okay. Hang on, I had a thought that I was like, oh, don't forget this. Crap. Okay, it'll come back to me. It's all right. Event retreat cost. Any rental fees, food, drink, invites, decorations, or any cost incurred for a specific event. Okay. Again, this is like kind of an area where some of this could go into advertising. If it's for a vendor event, some of it could go into training. Like, so this could also have stuff that lives in different places, but this is a category that you can signing bonus or discount. This is any amount of money that you offered as a signing deal to somebody. Like maybe you offered, hey, I'm going to pay the tax on your kit, or I'm going to give you a certain amount off, or I'm going to cover your website for 3 months, or, whatever you might be doing. This is rare. Like most of us are not doing this. But if you do, then go ahead and print a copy of their sign up paper from the website and write out the amount that you spent on them there for tracking. Okay. Also, if you're doing Venmo or something like that, you can put that in the notes. Like if you send them a Venmo money back kind of thing, say for your kit purchase, or that will help you too, to kind of keep track of those things. I use that a lot. Just make sure that if you're doing stuff like that, you're not saying pure romance products, or like, you don't want to be looking like you're selling stuff if you're trying to be on the DL on Venmo and not use a business account. I'm telling you a lot of really bad things. I'm just, but hey, it works. Okay. Processing bank and credit card fees. This is all your Square, your PayPal. If you are using a business Venmo account, anything like that where you're getting charged fees. This actually, you'll be amazed how much you get savings on this, because it ends up being a really big number at the end of the year, unfortunately. Loss and bad debt. This is like if somebody, like, you delivered an order for them and then their check bounced, or you never got paid, or something like that. Or if there was a product that you needed to replace for them that corporate didn't cover for you, like you decided to do it out of the goodness of your heart because customer comes first, and that's great, but you ended up having to pay some money for it, you would put that in here. Okay.
This is where anything that you mailed out and then make it during this pandemic, I had a whole lot of that.
Yeah, I do too. I
had a problem.
Yeah, not fun. It's not fun.
Big nasty explosion.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then miscellaneous is anything that doesn't seem to fit into any of these groups, which is a rare thing. Really, I don't think I've ever had anything in there. But just document that. Always keep all of your receipts. I actually love, for backup, I love using mint.com. If you're not using that or something like that, it's free. And what I love about it is if I'm using multiple accounts to pay for things, because sometimes I'm like, I'll pull out my credit card and put it in my pocket, and then, realize I forgot it. And then I'm like, oh crap, I got to pay on this card, whatever. Like,
I love that app. That is a great app.
Isn't it? It's so good.
Buy it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Not only does it track everything for you, it tracks every single expense. You can go in there and you can, if you want to do a little bit of extra work, mark what they're for. You can create categories in there, and then it's going to remember those. So every time you purchase from the same place, it's going to be like, oh, that was for da-da-da, or that's for da-da-da.
Jackie, you had a question. It's mint.com. It's by Intuit.
Yes. And it's a free offering that they have.
It's free.
And when we get into utilities and things like that in a minute, I'll tell you how Mint just is amazing. Okay. So
it's great for people that do finance, and it's great for people who don't do finance and very lazy, because it's very secure.
Yes. And it tracks, what you have at a glance. You can tell how you're doing financially. It has trackers in there that will tell you your net worth, your debt to income ratio, all those different things. So if you have goals that you want to set around your finances, it is amazing for that. It also it will track your credit score for you. Like, I get an update every single month. I love it. It's so good. Okay. All right. Any questions on the income and expense summary sheet?
No, but I was actually just looking at the mint.com, and there's a mint.com and a Mint Mobile. Which would you recommend if you're only running your business through a cell phone?
I'm not familiar with Mint Mobile. Is it like a phone version, an app?
It's the mobile version.
Okay. So it's the same thing probably. Yeah. I have it on my phone, and I also have it on my desktop. Okay. Any other questions?
So where would we put our kit purchase? Would it be business supplies?
Yes. That would fall under business supplies, not office supplies. You got it. And that's the great thing, is that, a lot of you gals that are newer, it's very likely that, some of you may actually be reporting a loss. That's okay. You're not going to get red flagged for reporting a loss. That's an expected part of starting a business. And in fact, like for my coaching business, because I had to rent an office and all of this stuff, I was able to claim a loss for the first 2 years, and that's expected. And that's the wonderful thing about why this works so well. If you have your own, maybe you're getting a W-2 from a regular job, or your partner is, or you both are, you might be paying money out and then getting money back once you report this, right? Because it's affecting your overall income. So I love that. I love that. The other thing is, if you have a W-2, so one thing I do want to say is that it's a really good idea to start making sure that you're putting money aside for taxes. Okay. Speaking from firsthand, not doing that, it's painful when you don't do that. Okay. And at some point in the business, if you get going along enough, like I should be paying quarterly taxes right now. I'm not doing that, and I get dinged for that. But when you're new, don't worry about it. They'll let you know when it's time for you to start doing quarterly taxes. They will send you a notice. Okay. Stress it.
I actually have something to add to that, because we have a financial advisor. She's a friend, and so she kind of helps me out here and there. But we file our taxes through a lady, and she told me that all new businesses are expected to fail within the first 5 years. So you can declare a loss within the first 5 years.
Awesome. That's awesome to know. Wow. So, like, talk about pressure off. Now, obviously, our goal is that you're making money and not claiming a loss, but great to know that that's not a worry you have to hold on to. Thank you, Joanna. That's fab.
It's true.
It's true. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they are set up to want to support business owners, small business owners, large business owners,
and women, small businesses.
Yes, yes, lady.
Yep.
Okay. The other thing that I'm going to say about putting aside money, one way I've found that is very, very helpful to do that, where you don't really have to think about it, is increase your withholdings on your W-2 or on your partner's W-2. Okay, just boost it up. That's a way of kind of taking that money now where you don't really notice it's missing, but it's going to help you come tax time. Okay. Okay, good. So let's move on from that. And I'm going to show you the preparation checklist. So this is also, everything I'm showing you is in your Dropbox. All right, so your after party trackers, which you've got in your Dropbox, those are for individual parties, right? That's where you get your total for the party that you then move to your PRIT, okay? Your tax trackers, you're gonna have those all 12 months, or if you didn't get around to it, then one year. Business utilities added up. Now, business utilities can be a lot of different things. So let's talk about this for a minute. If you do not have a particular space in your house that is designed just for your business, set one up, okay? Because you can claim a lot around business if you have a separate space that's just for that, okay? Now that'll be under, if I remember on TurboTax, it's been a minute, but business utilities is actually different from home utilities that you get to take a portion of. So let's talk business utilities first. That would be very specifically if you were paying utilities that were just for your business. That's very rare. I have that because I have a separate office where I'm paying electricity and all of those things. So that's 100% write-off, okay? But for home utilities, if you set up a home office and it's only used for this, okay, that's one of the areas where they say it can be a little more of a red flag kind of thing. Take a picture of your office space and measure it, okay? Like literally get out, how much space do I use for my desk? How much do I use for storage of my products? That square footage of your home is deductible from your rent or mortgage. And then utilities will also fall under that. So let's say 10% of your total square footage is used for your business. You can deduct 10% of your heating, 10% of your garbage, 10% of your electricity, okay? All those things. So that can add up. That can really add up. Things like internet, you can deduct based on the proportion of time you're using internet for your business. I would say don't overestimate on this. Like, be a little more conservative on this one, because you're probably spending less time on your business on there than you think you are. Also, your cell phone, if you still have a landline, but most people it's just going to be a cell phone, percentage of time you're spending on your business, deduct that. Okay. If you have a separate phone for your business, and that's great, you deduct the whole thing. Okay. Any other utilities? I don't care. I don't think so. I think that covers most of the things that I would normally do. Mileage log.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So with the chaos and everything that happened this week and kind of seeing how it all blew up for me, I just got really anal and dedicated my whole counter and 3 drawers and my dining room table, which kind of my office is portable because we live in an RV, but my underneath storage is where I store most of it when I don't pop it out and set it up to where I need it. Mm-hmm. Could I deduct both areas or just the one?
Yes, I was on TurboTax earlier, and they actually, it has you measure your office space and then any space that you use for storage. That's your closet, or I saw someone mention part of an area of their bedroom. Any space that's used for storage, then you also claim that space as office space, and you get the write-off for that. And it's in the TurboTax. Like when you go through it, it has you measure that.
Okay. I would say, Joanna, though, like one thing, if you're using your dining room for meals, like your dining room table, probably can't claim that space. You know, if it's an area that you clear off and you're doing other things on there, I wouldn't count that.
Well, living in an RV, I don't have the luxury to have the dining room table. So I set up the counter and I do what I need to, like either for parties or for like, okay, so I'll show you what I mean. Because right now I have all of it out. Sorry. My house is a mess.
No worries.
So like if I'm filling orders and if I'm organizing and labeling everything, this is what I'm using right now. So this is my space when I have it out. And then
I can't see it.
Like, wait, we didn't see it. Turn the camera, girl.
Is it? There we go. Oh no, you're looking at my face. I'm all showing you. Hold on.
Well, no, now we're looking at just your name.
I can't. Hold on. I can't figure out. Oh, there we go.
Okay, you know what, Joanna? Okay, go ahead.
There? Okay. So this whole like section slide is dedicated to either the dining room table or my business, which is pretty much every single night that I'm trying to figure out and organize and do what I need to.
So if you're moving that stuff to the dining room table to work, I wouldn't say you can claim both, but that area, if that's where that's normally held and stored, I would claim that square footage right there.
Okay. And then like over here is where I put the stuff, and I have like a section marked for delivery. I actually had to mark my counter. So there's like deliveries and shipping. And then I have like all these like 3 drawers dedicated to like my office supplies, which is
that area is always marked off for your business and looks like it is.
Yeah.
Then that counts. Yep.
Okay.
So it's any area that's not being used for other purposes. So you're good. You're good on that. I'm just noticing the time. I should get moved. I'm supposed to do the NCO at 11. I don't know why I thought I was like, oh, we'll get through this in an hour. So let me go a little faster and then we can post questions in the group for me or private message me. I'm happy to keep answering questions. Okay. All right. So mileage log. All right. I'm super, super bad about keeping a mileage log. You really should keep a mileage log. There's great apps that you can use for mileage logs. You can do it on paper, keep it in your glove box, whatever you want to do. Worst case scenario, if you've not been keeping a mileage log, make sure you track your beginning of the year mileage and your end of the year mileage. That's your total mileage for the year. And then you'll know how much mileage you actually did for business. If you drove to a party, if you drove to go get business supplies, Every time I drive over to Office Max and it's for my business, guess what? I add that to my mileage, right? So you can go back and pull that from receipts and party trackers and get your mileage that way. And then it's made as a portion of, you know, your mileage for the year. Now they're going to ask you, did you keep track of this, right? And I say yes, because I did in some way, but if I ever get audited, that could be a little, you don't have a trip, you don't have a mileage log, but I have the paper to back up that I went to those places. So mileage log is just going to make it a lot easier for you. So it's a good idea to start doing that. Credit card processing. Okay, we already talked about all of that. W-2s, obviously you need those for your preparation. Your 1099 from PR.
Going back to the mileage, I'm sorry, going back to the mileage. If you, because I keep my mileage, I do like beginning and end, and I pretty much just run my errands around my business. Can I track it that way?
Meaning that you're kind of combining things?
No, so I'm not combining. I only run my errands when I have to go do something for the business.
Yep,
and if it's on the way. Okay.
Oh yeah. I would say probably the whole trip. If it was for your whole trip was for business, then it's just the round trip.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning, because I track my beginning and end from when I leave my house to when I come back. Mm-hmm. And I only run my errands when I have to go do business.
Okay. Okay.
In order to instead of having to track smaller quantities of miles and all of that, it just makes it easier for me.
Are you doing other things that are not business related during that time?
Yes, but it's only if it's on the way or like in between.
Okay, then I think
that I can alter my route to do that.
If it altered your route, then I would deduct that portion. But if it doesn't alter your route, then that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, so if you have an assistant, of course, you're going to want to, that's a whole different topic. I don't think most of you probably don't have a business assistant yet. We already talked about house expenses. This is more like things that are going to be getting into personal deductions as we go along. Childcare expense, right? Medical expense. Your vehicle registration is a deduction for some states. Depends on where you are.
Not in Connecticut anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not your full. Like for me, it's only the license fee. So it's a portion of our registration. Anything that you paid for tax prep from the previous year. Personal write-offs. So you should take out things that you used for personal use. Products for personal use should come out of the total that you paid to corporate. Okay, so you bought your coochie, you bought yourself a vibrator, whatever, take that out. And then of course, and mortgage interest, school loan interest. I love the student loan interest. I'm still paying mine off. Inventory. Okay. So at the beginning and the end of the year, there are a few really important things you want to do. Check your mileage if you have not been good in keeping a mileage log, and inventory. Now this is your cost. Okay. So don't get confused about how much it's worth, because that varies, right? How much, so you want to really do what was the cost of all of this for me? And that at the end of the year, and then that becomes the beginning of the year for the next year. Okay, so run through, look at your stuff, how much did this cost? Look at your receipts from Pure Romance. Okay, any questions on that part?
Yeah, I have one quick question. When you said personal write-offs, things you bought for yourself. Now, the shaving cream, of course, the coochie stuff like that. So most of my stuff is virtual, but most of my stuff I buy for demonstration. So is that considered like demo or
no? Good. That's a really good question. Sorry, I should have covered that. Demo products are business supplies.
Okay.
Even if they're open. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the personal write-off, what is truly considered a personal write-off? Because all my stuff is technically demo.
if you bought something that is just that you're actually using yourself.
Okay.
That's personal. Yeah.
Okay. So demos are business
supplies.
Business supplies.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it. And that's great because that's a deduction, right?
Okay.
Okay, let me just look through my notes here. So we've kind of covered, here's this, again, these are all in your Dropbox. If not, let me know. But this will remind you of the different utilities that you might be able to claim based on your square footage deduction, okay? Back over here. There is an inventory tracker, very simple, but it is there in your Dropbox if you want to use that right there. Good place to store that, okay? I think that's probably it. So let's open it up for questions.
Alicia had a good question on the 1099s. I know those are mailed out, but would they have it in the COO as well?
Yes, your
do.
total that you're paid by corporate is in there. I'm trying to open this. Oh, why my Zoom is going so crazy? I'm trying to like stop sharing. Oh, hang on, never mind, because it's up there. There we are. Ah, there you are. Yes, so you can pull that number from reports, or you can get it from paper 1099. In the COO, let me look this up real quick. Go in, log in really quickly here. I remember the thing I was trying to remember. In your 1099, if you are the lucky winner of something like a trip or anything big like that, that will show up as income. I want you just to be aware of that, okay? That has a value. They're going to add that to your 1099. So if you're hustling, you want to make sure that you're prepared to be paying some tax on the things that you receive. Okay. All right. So let me look here. So if we go into reports, under business reports, and then my overrides and bonuses. Just pulling it up to make sure I'm giving you the right information. There's a month-to-date override tracking. There's override tracking and retail sales bonus tracking. And there should be, I'm feeling like there's another report that gives you the annual. Let's see here. Commissions, it might be under commissions, COF, and free products. Let's look there. No. I'll keep look. Oh, maybe it's been a minute since I pulled mine up. Tell you what, I will find it and I'll post it in the event so you know exactly where that lives. Okay. I'm gonna make a note of that. Okay. Other questions?
There we are. Sorry, I look like death, everyone.
That's great, Danny. How are you feeling?
Oh, beautiful. I'm getting there. I still walk with a limp. Stairs are a little bit difficult, and staying up on my feet is a little hard after about 10-15 minutes. But for the most part, I'm doing good. No walker, and the scar is not too terrible. So awesome. I hope it stays numb enough for me to get a tattoo over it. That's my hope.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You and I should talk.
Gotta cover that. Gotta cover that scar up, man. It's awful. And I got a new grandbaby, so you know he's absolutely beautiful and stunning. Yay. Yeah, he was born. I got to be on FaceTime during the birth, and I bawled like a baby. There's just nothing more beautiful than to watch your baby have a baby. So really excited about that. I'll post some pictures in the Ringleader group here in just a bit.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my daughter's on our team too. So
yeah.
With the personal write-offs and the business write-offs that we claim on the demo products, do we do that at our cost? What we paid for the products?
Yes, what you paid for the products. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that was the same as when we do inventory. So, and not like the total
Yeah, that's I'm actually really glad you brought that up, because I feel like it's easy to get tripped up on that, right? So
right.
if we think about expenses, right, and always think about it in terms of what is the expense on any of these things. There is an expense for everything you paid for customer orders, which is your cost. There's an expense for everything for demo, which should be cost. There's an expense for everything in inventory, which should be cost. So if you think about it that way, then you're not going to get hooked up with, because I learned this the hard way accidentally, posting inventory as the full retail value. No, it's actually what I spent on it. So
okay,
yeah.
And then like for our parties, like I always give my girls like the free bottle of coochie or the free product. What does that deduction go under?
Oh, okay, great. So I actually usually do that as a discount. So back on that PRIT, I will put in, so like, a coochie, like I'll actually put that in their retail, like the total retail for that party, but then I'll also put $22 minus as a deduction.
Right.
Right.
Well, see, now this all makes sense here on here.
Yeah.
I haven't been writing in like hostess credit, hostess gift. I haven't been writing those in.
Right.
So
that's okay.
Luckily it's only February and I had surgery in January, so I haven't had a whole lot of parties, and I know now to do it. But the last few months of the year when I started, I didn't have any of that written in.
That's okay. So. And it's not a bad idea to go back and estimate, because you probably have some idea of a general amount that you tend to give. Just go in there and kind of make shit up. But if it's around a heart massager value, put in a heart massager. If it's around a coochie value, that's going to be such a small difference. You generally have a range that you're working in. So
and considering I've only done it for 3 months, I'm thinking it's really not going to matter anyway.
Totally.
Or 3 months before the end of the year. So probably not going to matter a whole lot last year, but it will this year. So
exactly. Yeah. Okay. My goal is that for all of you, it starts to matter more, because that means you're really making some money.
Right.
But we're going to make lots of money.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Woohoo.
All right. Okay. So we got
I got to go take care of my husband. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Oh, my pleasure, Christina. And again, just know that, if you have questions, come reach out to me. There may be ways that, I do it slightly differently. I'm hoping that I'm doing everything right. But again, I'm not a tax expert. So just know that.
The only thing I want to talk to you about offline, maybe you could send me a message, or I'll send you a message if I don't lose my mind. I'm already halfway through the day. The inventory thing, the start of the year and the end of the year, that's not working in my head. So I'll try to remember to message you, or maybe you have something written down already.
Yeah, just shoot me a message. We can talk more about it for sure.
Thank you, guys. Everybody have a great day, and happy Galentine's Day.
Oh yeah, happy Galentine's Day.
Happy Galentine's Day.
All right. Bye, Christina. Okay, so TurboTax makes it really easy, Alicia. It literally steps you through. Not exactly. I mean, you're going to put in the income, and then it's going to say, now let's take you to expenses, and then you're going to line itemize your expenses. So you're going to put in business supplies. You don't have to list all the things that were under business supplies. You're going to list business supplies and the total amount. You're going to list, I don't know, my brain's like, party supplies and the total amount, right? Advertising, total amount. You don't have to break it down. I used to break it down like a ridiculous amount. They're not interested in that. Okay. And honestly, what they're interested in, I think, is that they see that as your business grows, like that there's like things look like they are kind of similar, like they're matching, right? Like that's really what they're interested in. Okay. And Azure, I love that you posted that app. Thank you, because I don't use those apps. So I appreciate you posting Everlance for mileage. I think that's great. I see that there are a lot of questions. I think you guys were getting them answered. So thank you. Louimi, Classy, everybody. Any other last questions before we sign off? No? You guys feeling a little better?
It's not tax related, because I actually pulled out all my stuff, and I just noticed that for Rookie of the Year, do you only, or can you only earn that within your first year of business, or can you earn it once you make your first 36,000?
No, it's only your first 365 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Just go for something else. Go next.
What's the next thing you can earn?
Well, positions of prestige or moving up
President's Club.
Level advancements, right? Yes, President's Club. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Alrighty.
Thank you, gals. It was so nice to see all your faces. Have a wonderful
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jackie.
No problem. Bye.
Have a great day, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.